Welcome everyone to Mayo Clinic Q&A. I'm Deb Balzer. As the COVID-19 pandemic continues, this year it's more important than ever to get a flu vaccine. While a flu vaccine won't protect against COVID-19, flu vaccines will reduce your risk of flu illness, hospitalization, and death. With us today to discuss vaccines and vaccine safety is Mayo Clinic infectious disease specialist, Dr. Priya Sampathkumar. Dr. Sampathkumar, thanks for joining us today. Why is this year so important that we'll get their flu vaccine?
The flu is important every year. The flu vaccine does not protect you against coronavirus. But this year, it's really important to get the flu vaccine because if you do get the flu, it's going to be really hard to tell flu and COVID infection apart. So it's going to result in anxiety on your part. It's also going to result in need for testing for both flu and influenza and potentially quarantine and inconvenience. So it's important that you do everything you can to stay healthy and not get the flu at all.
How safe is the flu vaccine, doctor? There's been questions.
The flu vaccine is probably the vaccine that we have used the most of over the years because everyone needs to get vaccinated against the flu every year. So this vaccine has a really, really good safety record. It is manufactured the same way each year. What changes is the vaccine strains. The virus strains in the vaccine are changed, but the manufacturing process is the same every year. And because so many millions of doses are used around the world, we have a good sense of any safety issues with it. It's not something that's used in the select population where only a few doses are given. You might not identify a safety problem. So I would say that the flu vaccine is very, very safe.
And it's rigorously vetted. Is that correct, doctor?
All vaccines in the US are rigorously vetted, and it takes anywhere from, in general, 6 to 8 years for a vaccine to come to market because of the rigorous process that the vaccines are put through to ensure that A, they do what they're supposed to do, which is protect you against the disease, and also are safe, don't have any other consequences.
Doctor, who should be getting the flu vaccine this year?
Everybody over the age of 6 months should be getting the flu vaccine unless they have an allergy to a component of the vaccine, which is actually very, very infrequent. Even egg allergies are no longer considered a contraindication to the vaccine. So really everybody. The other question that comes up a lot is timing. You need to get the flu vaccine at least 2 weeks prior to the onset of flu activity in your region, and that can vary from place to place. In the Midwest, typically flu doesn't start till about the last week in December, and then it can go through the end of March. So the vaccine takes about 2 weeks to induce an immune response. So you should get it 2 weeks before, so by the first week of December or so. Is there ever a time that's too early to get the flu vaccine? So for most people, no, you can get it as soon as the flu vaccine becomes available. For immunosuppressed patients and the elderly, sometimes the effect of the vaccine can wane in 6 months or so. So if you get it in August, you may not be protected in March when flu is still circulating. So there's a little bit of concern about that. I would urge people to get it when it's available.
Thank you, doctor. You know, there's a lot of information out there about the flu vaccine and misinformation. What do you want to tell folks who hear conflicting information about flu vaccine safety?
There are reports in the media about bad things happening after all vaccines, and the flu isn't an exception to that. We give thousands and thousands of doses of vaccine at our medical facility and have not encountered problems. There's a very, very small chance that you can have a neurologic problem called Guillain-Barré after the flu vaccine. This was a problem with the 1976 flu vaccine, and the flu vaccine's always gotten a bad rap since then. After that, the incidence of the syndrome has been very, very low, 1 in every couple of million doses. The association is weak, and other than that, there are no major side effects from the flu vaccine.
If there's anything else that you think you'd like to tell us about the flu, please.
The flu virus is a virus that is constantly evolving. It goes through what are called mutations all the time. So between 1 year and the next, the flu virus undergoes changes. And so that's why we need to give you a new vaccine every year. Every year, the flu vaccine has 4 different strains that are collected from all over the world. And we pick the ones we think are most likely to cause infection.
Wonderful. That's great information. I want to thank you, Dr. Sampathkumar, for taking time from your busy day to share your expertise. Thanks so much. Thanks to Mayo Clinic infectious diseases specialist Dr. Priya Sampathkumar for joining us today to discuss vaccines and vaccine safety. The Mayo Clinic Q&A, I'm Deb Balzer. Thanks for joining us.
Mayo Clinic Q&A is a production of the Mayo Clinic News Network and is available wherever you get and subscribe to your favorite podcasts. To see a list of all Mayo Clinic podcasts, visit newsnetwork.mayoclinic.org. Then click on Podcasts. Thanks for listening, and be well. We hope you'll offer a review of this and other episodes when the option is available. Comments and questions can also be sent to Mayo Clinic News Network at mayo.edu.